Hello and welcome to Grumpy Gamers. You're here with me, Pete, and along with me I have Ben.
Hello.
Kirk.
Hello.
And Eddie.
Hello.
And he doesn't sound like shit, am I right?
For once.
Hang on. If you remember, in the last week, I think a little bit into it, I went, no, I think the audio's fine because it sounds good, and it didn't turn out to be ideal. So
just for the listeners, like the audio file I received from Eddie was fucking dog shit. It was like it's like been pulled for a bush or something. It was so bad. I had to mute him every time he wasn't speaking. I had to mute his whole line.
Yeah,
what I'm hearing here, Ben, is you covering for your poor editing skills. But no, I do
my editing skills were fucking magnificent. Even Kirk heard that original file. It was fucking.
I did. I actually said he needs to sort his fucking shit out for next week. I was disgusted.
Well, to be honest, I'm quite sad because I thought we were going to exile him completely this week on the grounds of having rubbish sound.
I literally spoke to Pete an hour before the podcast. I went, if he's using that other mic, he's just not on.
Yeah, you're the one that told me to use that mic.
You're just not on.
We even said like, oh, should I use a laptop? You know, like, oh, how about the one you use for gaming? So I did.
You said that. No, you said that. You said, oh, I've got the one that I used to use. Okay, well, that I did actually have to edit quite hard when you used that.
Fantastic. Anyway, technical issues aside, shall we talk about gaming?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Excellent. So
is that what we're here for?
I mean, I think so.
I don't know. I think if anything, that comes second to us ripping on each other. So
that's very true. Yeah, fair point. But we do have to base it around some kind of format because otherwise Ben will get sad. So as usual, we'll start with the news and then roll into the new releases. And after that, it's what we've been playing. And our feature this week is on the Indie Xbox event and the State of Play last week. Pretty busy week.
It was. It was a really busy week, wasn't it?
Just a bit. And I mean, yet again, PlayStation doing the let's focus on one entire thing with the State of Play, which I still am annoyed by, but it's Hogwarts Legacy.
Well,
so
that was balanced out by Xbox saying we're going to spend 25 hours talking about 10 games.
It was a longy.
Something else. We'll get into that. Something else.
Yeah, we will come to that. But first, I think Kirk has a revelation for Twitter, doesn't he?
A revelation. I'm not sure that's how you should put it, but okay. Well, yeah, I put on our Twitter account, I just wanted some help from our followers to determine what controller I should buy next. So I don't know if you guys have seen, but Xbox do the Xbox Design Lab, where you can like create your own controller, all the colours and stuff like that. And I put 4 options up there: a red, white, black, and orange version that were all just kind of like quite slick looking. And had quite a few people vote in, and it turns out that the Zest Orange version is the one that I'm going to be buying with my hard-earned Microsoft Award points now. So I just want to say,
Kirk.
Yeah,
Kirk. Don't you have 25 controllers or something like that?
I've got 5. Yeah,
you're a man. You're a man who has a lot of controllers.
I do. Yeah.
Just one person who plays console.
The thing is, what you don't understand. Okay, I've already got.
You have no friends to play with those controllers either, right?
That is correct, but
right.
I got the 20th anniversary one, which is lovely, and I got a red one, which is lovely, but I don't use it because it doesn't have the grips on the back. And I don't want to use the Halo one.
Doesn't have the grips?
Yeah, it doesn't have the grips. I don't want to use my Halo one anymore because I don't want it to get ruined because it's obviously limited.
Oh, because that will have a lot of value because that game's going really well, so that's going to have a lot of value going forward, isn't it?
I mean, that's a great way to put it, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to get this, and I'm going to get my gamer tag engraved on it, and it's just nice that people chimed in. So
that is a nice touch, though. The gamer tag, being engraved on it, that is, or like printed on it. That's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah. I like that. I like that Xbox allow you to kind of make your own controller design.
I mean,
kind of with the
for
colours
money.
And shit.
But yes,
yeah,
for money. In exchange for money, they allow you to do.
To be fair though, controllers cost about £60 anyway. And these cost £60.
You might as well buy 6 of them.
Exactly. Anyway, yeah, that was it really. I just wanted to say thanks to all the listeners and the followers that helped me decide. So
helped you pick out a ridiculous orange-looking handset. Yeah, fantastic work. Love that. Great stuff. Could have just gone with a simple one, but no, had to go idiotic.
No.
Well, I mean, I suppose that's the most understandable thing we'll hear in the news today. But we should probably move on to actual news.
Sounds good.
We got some quick news this week, haven't we?
Yes.
We've got A Plague Tale, the critically acclaimed game that's on Game Pass at the moment, and they're making a sequel called Requiem. That's coming to a TV series soon. Ooh. So that should be interesting. I mean, there's so many fucking games that have been made in TV series. I think Resident Evil, there's another TV
there's a
series
Netflix show coming
as well.
Yeah, Netflix in the next couple of months.
Lots for us to look forward to, and the Halo one coming as well on Paramount. Like, there's a lot of good stuff.
Halo's already
coming.
out.
So I've heard that people have watched the first three. So some people have watched the first 3 episodes and said it's all right. So I don't know when it's officially. I don't know when it's. Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay.
I don't know when it's officially kind of released. I don't think it's out yet, is it?
I thought
yeah, lots to look forward to. And speaking of, well, there's a segue there, but I can't do it into a TV series kind of thing. But new Witcher game has just been announced.
I saw that. Yeah.
New Witcher game has just been confirmed, and it's also confirmed that it's going to be an Unreal Engine 5.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we all know that The Witcher and Cyberpunk on launch were not great. We knew. I mean, it's quite well documented that they weren't that they didn't run particularly well. And this kind of points to CD Projekt Red going, our engine probably isn't up to scratch, and they're now using Unreal Engine 5. And this is a partnership with Epic Games that they're thinking that it's going to span a number of years. So I think that's really good news for a possible day one version of the new Witcher game being playable and good.
They're going to learn from their mistakes now, aren't they? They have to. They can't do that again.
You could say that after Witcher 3.
Yeah. Well, that one wasn't quite as bad.
No.
It was still pretty terrible.
No, yeah.
And again, I had 0 issues with Cyberpunk either. So, I mean, PC gamers just get the advantages, don't they?
They do. Of course. But, and another announcement that came tonight as well. We're recording on the Monday, obviously, so this just happened. Sony are acquiring Haven Studios, which is the studio run by Jade Raymond, who she co-created Assassin's Creed, I think. And I think she was the one involved in that Star Wars project that got cancelled years ago. Does that ring any bells?
1313.
Does that ring bells that she was involved in that? I haven't made notes on that. I'm just
You're freewheeling. You've gone wild.
I've gone rogue. I've gone off piste.
I believe she was also involved in the very first Tetris game.
Is this because you've Googled her?
No. I'm just rifting.
Because you just made stuff up.
If Ben gets to make shit up, I get to make shit up.
So what we're saying is that we may or may not be correct with anything that we've just said. But anyway, Sony are acquiring Haven Studios. Okay, so that's the quick news.
Delivered very slowly comparatively. Fantastic. Love it. Great start. So
all about that.
Yeah. So from there, what else do we have to talk about?
Oh, is that me again? Is that the numbers following?
No, it's not. It's Eddie. Eddie, pay attention, man.
I'm paying attention. For a start, I haven't seen the order. For second of all, I just love how much.
We just discussed it.
We literally, yes, 10 minutes ago.
I'm even on my thing that says number 2, but I was like, was that number 1 or was that Ben doing his early news
Pete's
stuff?
fucked this up. Pete's fucked this up because it says 1, 2, 3 above, and then it says 4 by my one, which is directly below. I put in all this error on Pete. That's all on Pete.
I'm sorry. I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
It definitely is.
Yeah,
oh,
so
Kirk,
Pete, you fucked up.
You just turned so easily to
Pete,
have
can
it
I
not be
please
you.
get on with the news? God, you're always about this, aren't you? Mine is Microsoft works with Valve to get Game Pass on Steam Deck, which is awesome. So This is from Eurogamer. A new Microsoft Edge for Linux beta now permits the browser to run Xbox Cloud Gaming and stream Game Pass games on Steam Deck. In a new article published by official Microsoft support site, Microsoft has advised the step-by-step instructions for Steam Deck device owners installed in getting Xbox Cloud Gaming beta and Microsoft Edge installed and set up on your device. Ben, I thought this would appeal to you quite largely.
It does and it does and it doesn't, because this is the cloud. This is like the cloud version of Game Pass, and it's actually what I use on my One X player as is. And most games run seamlessly. However, No Man's Sky, for some reason, just really trucks along on it. It's just so I already tried to play Game Pass in handheld, and some games for some reason, even though I've got gig internet, just don't seem to run that well on it. I don't get it.
Have you noticed how every single week since he moved into a place with good internet, Ben mentions how good his internet is?
Guys, I don't know if I've mentioned I have a gig internet.
Do you have a gig internet?
I was the poor guy. I was the poor guy of the group. I had like 20 or something.
Yeah,
20 megs.
Yours was pathetic towards the end.
But now I'm king.
All right, fucking hell.
And something about Game Pass on the Steam Deck. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. I mean, I do like, even the way they phrase it makes it seem like they're tacking on Microsoft Edge. And you're like, you're not
They
actually a
love to
bad
do
browser
that, don't
anymore,
they?
but they do love to tack things on, don't they?
Yeah.
Bless them.
Great.
Yeah, they'll never get over Internet Explorer, really. So what else has Microsoft been doing?
Well, they've been having a bit of a thing going on behind the scenes. So the Initiative, which is the main studio under the Xbox umbrella, they're developing Perfect Dark. They've had half of their workforce quit. So it appears, yeah, it's pretty bad. So the Initiative was formed in 2018, and it's come to light since there's been some LinkedIn analysis done, and we have some information. So from VGC.com, we have, as much as half of the core development team known to be working on the upcoming Perfect Dark reboot quit the company during last year, or around 36 people, analysis of an employee LinkedIn profiles has revealed. That includes most of the Initiative's senior design team, including game director Dan Neuberger, design director Drew Murray, lead level designer Chris O'Neill, principal world builder Jolion Myers, I think that's how you say. Two senior system designers, a group of 3 former God of War designers, and more. And the turnover of the top talent doesn't end in design. Perfect Dark's 2 most senior writers also recently quit, analysis shows, along with the project's technical director, tech art director, lead gameplay engineer, lead animator, QA lead, and more. So, wow. That's just a few people, isn't it? So basically, the Initiative's website highlights a collaborative environment. However, former employees have said Daniel Neuberger and Daryl Gallagher had a very top-down view on decisions being made. And it was also noted that many senior team members didn't feel heard on key issues such as development priorities, project planning, and team staffing. So, and it's also worth noting that Neuberger left just last month as well. Okay. Yeah. So the timing of the departures also coincides with the September 2021 announcement that Crystal Dynamics had been signed to co-develop the game. I don't know if you guys remember that. And there was obviously a lot of talk as to why this newly formed AAA, or I think it was supposed to be quadruple A, wasn't it? The studio needed Crystal Dynamics to come in. But yeah, what the hell's going on? Really? Because it's. I've seen. Go on.
The impression I get is there's one very stressed out intern who's the only person left. Yes. I mean, it says a lot about how many people you've left if you have to bring in an entire studio to replace them.
No, that's not what happened though. I think they were bringing in Crystal Dynamics. Yeah. I think from what I've heard on other news outlets and kind of informed podcasts, it would appear that this is quite a small studio, so 70 to 80 people it was. Yeah. You can't make AAA games with 70 to 80 people. True. Where they want to make quadruple A, which don't know whether they just got that wrong and they meant AAA, but they want to make quadruple A games. You can't do that with the size of studio that they had, but this is supposed to be Xbox's big. This is their answer to like Sony Santa Monica. It's like their big studio, and I think it would appear that they were quite top heavy in terms of their management, and not as many doers as you usually get in a studio, and they needed to bring more people on. And I think the people who were in this organisation, the understanding is that they believed that they could do it with the number of people that they had, and they liked the size of studio that they were. Bringing on Crystal Dynamics kind of ruined that and was going to take a lot away from what they were doing and what they thought the ethos of this company was. And the fact is that this company, the initiative has only been going for 3-4 years and hasn't got that ingrained culture with it already. So this kind of might have been viewed as destroying whatever they were building. So I think there was a lot of, I think that's where it's come down, that there was just animosity with the Crystal Dynamics thing, and it just hasn't ended where they wanted. But ultimately, they needed a shit ton more developers and doers to actually make these big games. So, it seems like a shame.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'm slightly confused by that, Ben, because while I enjoy the fact that you used my joke as a stepping off point to attack me with it, that's good stuff. But it just seems strange because they brought on Crystal Dynamics in September last year, so that's only 6 months ago. And this is talking about over the last year and a bit, they've lost 36 staff members.
Yeah, well, the other thing is that the two leads were supposed to, supposedly they've got a quite heavy creative team there, or had, and they felt like they were being stifled with these two individuals making much of the decisions. So ultimately, I think that's probably the straw that broke the camel's back, is Crystal Dynamics coming in. And I think it's recently that you get a lot of the heavy hitters that have left. So I think, you're probably right that there's something there anyway, but I think the Crystal Dynamics thing is the straw that broke the camel's back. And I think Crystal Dynamics would have had to be brought in anyway, because as I said,
small studio,
you can't build AAA, you can't make AAA games with 70 people.
I mean, the last thing on that is, it does mean that Perfect Dark's going to take ages now, even more so than it would have before, because there's just no.
Yeah, I mean, that's immediate red flags around that game as well, isn't it? If you've lost your lead writers, your lead gameplay engineers, your technical directors, that's not a good sign for that game.
It is, and what isn't a good sign is that nothing has really come from this studio in 4 years. Like 4 years is quite a long time. I mean, even in game development, you're looking at like 4 to 5 year top cycle. Isn't that kind of what we are led to believe? So a 4 year, to get to 4 years at this point, and then not really even be showing the like Perfect Dark isn't anywhere near kind of a show.
I wonder what Daddy Phil's feeling like now at the moment.
Well, a lot of criticism has been laid at his door, and it's not like he has direct oversight of this stuff, but I think that some people believe that this is a showing of mismanagement of the whole of the initiative. This is supposed to be their flagship thing, but I'm only saying what I've heard. It's not independent thought, but that's it seems like there are some creative differences, but the Crystal Dynamics thing has caused some friction.
Yeah. Well, what positive stuff we have. Good news. Good news everywhere, guys. Go on, Ben. Bring us up with some even better news.
Oh, what do you want me to bring some uplifting news to the table? Right, okay then. So Gran Turismo has been smashed with problems in the last week.
Oh no, really?
Excellent. Okay.
Yes, they've it's a pile up of problems. Something there.
Very good. No, very good. Well done.
So firstly, they attempted to patch the game. Now you may be there thinking that a patch is lovely and they're fixing some bugs and they're going to smooth out the experience a little bit. But one of the main things they wanted to do was reduce the number of in-game credits that you receive in certain races so that people couldn't farm them as much. So certain races which were particular fan favourites for farming can't do that anymore.
That's great.
Which is a fucking... Anyway, this is all because Gran Turismo is actually a heavily microtransaction-based game. And this has come to the fore quite heavily now. At every turn, it kind of mentions that you can pay in real-world money and you can top up your balance with real-world money. And it has been accused of being quite predatory. And it's shit because there are races throughout that kind of campaign which require you to have racing cars, and even the cheapest versions of cars that would meet the requirements for those races are really fucking expensive. And also, you can't sell cars that you get in the game. You can't sell them in the game, so you can't sell duplicates. You can't sell cars that you receive for winning races. So
really,
they're all funneling to you can't do that like you could in old Gran Turismos. So they're all funneling you towards the grind, the pay.
The grind or the
this
pay.
Is what, a 70 quid game?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's a 70 quid. Yeah. And so when I've been playing, I was lucky in one of my roulette spins, you get some fucking spins. It's a bit like Forza, but just far less glamorous. I got 750k worth of in-game credits, which was quite substantial. And so I haven't really encountered that grind problem because I actually got that, but all the other rolls that I've got are shit. So I think it's quite rare. I got a rare drop. But anyway, they patched this. So they patched it so you had to grind like fuck. And they fucked it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So the servers went down, or they had to take the servers down. And for 30 hours, the game, the servers went down.
Yeah.
Now, despite this being a mostly single-player game, and my cynical side thinks that they do this to sell you microtransactions, but you have to always be online when you play GT7.
Of course you do.
So
Which is fucking ridiculous.
Which is ridiculous. And so, for 30 hours, 10 days after the release of this game, no one could play this game.
For God's sake.
That's ridiculous.
That's probably the longest outage I've heard of.
Yeah, 30, like, there will be, it's not even like, let's say Warzone was down or something like that for maintenance. Yeah, that's kind of fine because they plan it in there or whatever, and everyone knows it's online.
But there's notifications for a week before, and that outage is usually about 20 minutes long in the middle, and they do it at certain times, like 4 a.m, where only I am playing.
So this is 30 hours for everyone, 10 days after release. No one can play this. So now Gran Turismo 7 is the lowest rated Metacritic user score for any Sony released game ever.
Yes, it
at
is.
4.1.
Ben, just to stop you there, it's now 1.9.
Oh shit!
Oh wow!
Which is the first time I've ever seen overwhelming dislike come up on Metacritic.
It's going to be worse than Battlefield, right?
Yeah, it probably is.
Yes!
Must be.
It's literally
We're
1.9.
climbing the ladder, boys.
So this especially, in my view, is a real crying shame for what is a very good driving game. This game has enough problems, I think, for mainstream in terms of laborious menus and making you click all over the place and loading you through and all this. It's just a faff on. It's just a fucking faff. But the actual racing and driving is really good. But now that with the patch, to actually reach an end game where you've got all the cars, you're actually doing what you want to be doing, you could race online with these awesome cars and stuff like that, you have to play like for so long. It just seems completely unreasonable. It's just such a shame that Sony, when Pete, you said it, you pay £70 for this game.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. And you know, there's Matali John on our Twitter said that he got a brand new PlayStation, and he's got GTA 5 for it, and I think he was playing on PS4 anyway, but the day or whatever that he gets the PlayStation, I don't think he could play it. God. If I remember rightly. And think of those people that have a day off or something on that day. Like, I'm going to play that new game that I've got.
Oh, dude,
or you take that game for the first day, or you get it through the post. I'm going to install it, and you just can't even play it for 30 hours. Yeah. You'd have to play that fucking mini game.
And it's also crippling. Like Ben, we've talked about it. Where do you remember was there a year or two where with Football Manager you needed to be online, didn't you?
Oh, yes, that was way back when, wasn't it?
Yeah, I went to the parents for Christmas and they got me Football Manager, which I knew they were getting me. I was so happy, and and then I couldn't play it. So I just had to actually like interact with my family over Christmas, which, as we all know, is just a horrible thing to do. So yeah, no Football Manager, and it's horrible, isn't it? Especially like I know a lot of people who do take a week off when there's a big game coming out. Granted, a lot of them are shitty games like FIFA. But, you know, imagine if you did that and then you just couldn't play it for a lot of it, or there were major issues. It's horrible.
I just think it... sorry.
I was just going to say, let's also not forget that this is, like, one of Sony's biggest franchises, and it's their first, like, proper next-gen release, like, for the... Well, not proper next-gen, but you get what I mean. It's their big... It's one of their... The studios...
Yeah, it's a flagship.
It's a flagship. Yeah, that's what I was looking for, thank you. And... The aggressive microtransaction stuff is just fucking ridiculous, especially when they pride themselves on a premium experience. Yeah, premium experience, but still give us more money after the fact as well, please. And to have it 30 hours out of being able to play it, and 10 days or not after, just having just that happening in the first place for a premium experience is fucking disgraceful, in my opinion.
Like, I think it's not great. That time has been and gone, but the bigger thing in my mind is that could happen again anytime.
Yeah,
it could.
Like, this is just highlighted.
The next time they want to remove a farm, this will happen again.
Yeah, yeah. It's just that seems terrible to me. That like at the whim or something going wrong or whatever, that the game is totally unplayable, and it kind of. It also moves on to that legacy of games in the future and going back to playing old games on servers and all that kind of stuff. Like, this game has a lifespan.
That's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just not a good look. But people might forget about this and it's old news in a week's time. But you know, this is not a great look for Sony. I really thought what is a quite a good game. It's bad look.
Well, we've covered Sony and Microsoft. Is there at least good news for Nintendo?
Oh, Nintendo, yes. The Wii Shop channel has been down for days and I believe is still down. So you haven't actually been able to buy Wii games on the store for, I think, a couple of years. But you have been able to re-download your old games or use codes or whatever. So if you had a Wii and you have bought stuff in the past, and you could re-download that stuff and essentially you could get it back on your console. So when it does go down proper, you don't you've still got your games.
Right.
And we knew that this would happen at some point. You know, at some point this would be shut down properly, but it wasn't anticipated to be as early as this. But it looks like Nintendo may have gone and done it. Or it's just gone down for some server issue or something. Somebody's pulled the plug out of the wall or something, and Nintendo gives a flying fuck about it and hasn't fixed it. So it's one of those two. It could be fixed when Nintendo go, oh shit, do you realise that that's not working? We'll sort that in a week. Or maybe it's gone for good and you can't re-download your Wii games. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that one.
Do you reckon someone just like tripped over the cable, ruined it?
Could be.
The connection to the server and went, well, it was going to happen anyway.
Okay. In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. We were switching it off within a few years anyway. Who cares? It's fine. It's just happened.
Exactly.
Yeah. And someone in PR will whip up a little... an obituary for it in a few weeks and we'll be all good.
Not my problem. That's the intern again walking around. Not my problem.
That guy's working hard. He's got 2 jobs. My God. 2 jobs and he's an intern at both of them. Love it. Yeah. Well, I suppose then I should probably take a turn and give the first positive news this week, which is, of course, that Elden Ring has hit 12 million sales, guys.
Nice.
Boom.
Yeah, so that's 12 million copies in a little bit over 2 weeks.
Cool. That's a monster.
Yeah,
that's a fucking monster.
Yeah, I mean, in their own words, it was a fantastic start for the new franchise, and we'll come back to that word. Much effort was placed into creating Elden Ring so that we could exceed the expectations of our fans worldwide. In like manner, we will continue our efforts in expanding the brand beyond the game itself and into everyone's daily life. Firstly, wording choice there is kind of terrifying, because why would Elden Ring be in my daily life?
When is it not in my daily life?
Okay, Ben, yes, you're a special case. But I mean, if it gets to the point where I've got boss battles coming in during my commute, it's going to be kind of annoying.
When it's on my Steam Deck, I will.
Yeah, you really will. But in all other things, this sounds like sequel. This sounds like spin-offs. this sounds like, holy crap, we've done really, really well and we're going to capitalize on it. Which I imagine, Ben, you are super hyped for.
Yeah, well, they gave everyone pay rises off the back of this, didn't they?
Oh, that's awesome.
Off the back of it doing great. And I think I did hear that I think their expectations were around 4 million.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something. It was meant to be something like 4 million by the end of March.
Yeah, and it's just gone off. I mean, I'm so pleased and that more people have got to experience this, and it is more accessible than the average Souls game. And I think it's excellent. I'll be double dipping and having 2 copies when I get the Steam Deck.
Fucking love a double dip, don't you?
Yeah,
love a double dip.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to, just to catch up with The Witcher, you're going to have to buy it on more platforms, Ben.
That was a quad dip.
Yeah, as it's your favourite game, though, I think you've got to have bought it more times than any other game.
Yeah, I've got to. Yeah, I have to. Yeah, than a game that I don't even really enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. A game that you've tried multiple times and can't get into, despite it being a classic.
Despite being one of the best games ever made. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Fine.
Unbelievable.
Fine.
But yeah, so excellent news for the makers of Elden Ring. But I should then point out slightly worse news for the players of Elden Ring, because there's also been a massive nerf to all of the meta items in the game, or at least the early meta items. So this includes,
was fucking huge.
This was massive, wasn't it? And this includes things that a lot of people know of. So this is the Mimic Tier Summon, the Sword of Night and Flame, Hoarfrost Stomp, the move. And as well as that, a big and actually very important nerf to a move called Fire's Deadly Sin, which was just broken how powerful it was. Like, just absurdly broken. So, yeah, this was patch 1.03, which added some new content, fixed some broken quests finally, which is really handy because there were a few there that just left you hanging, but also brought a lot of rebalancing to the game. And it's a bit of an odd one for me, because I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't expecting this to be a bit like a live service game in that respect. I wasn't expecting post-launch changes.
Yeah, Pete, I thought all Souls games were the kind of game that you look up and you find, oh, if I go here, I'll find that kind of weapon. And that's what like all the excitement was. Also, I think there are so many videos. Like if I scroll down my Instagram right now, every like 10th one will be this person found this item in this place in Elden Ring. And it kind of makes all those obsolete, doesn't it? Really, because you don't know what patch might have got rid of whatever that person just found, and is it even any good? Yeah, I'm shocked.
It does a bit, and it's a bit odd for me, for instance, because what if you put this game down not through choice but through life circumstance, and you're 2/3 of the way through your playthrough, and you come back to it, and suddenly everything you've built around is just garbage because they've patched it.
That's my biggest gripe with this. Now, I am not against them changing this stuff. Like, I do think some of these items were overpowered, but I also think that's the beauty of the game, that if you want to make things a little easier for yourself, you go and get these items. And you know, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. Now, they wanted to rebalance the game for whatever reason, or we might even discuss that. But it's I don't think that's terrible. But what I do think is bad is almost not having the option to upgrade to the next patch for this stuff. Yeah. Because if you have, let's say you're finding this game really tough, like you say, or you put it down, Pete, but if you're finding it really tough and you've gone, right, how do I make this a bit easier? Okay, I'm going to go get the Mimic Tear. Yeah. I'm going to go and get the Sword of Night and Flame. I'm going to get this, that, and the other. And okay, now I'm nicely equipped. Now I can go and have fun with this game and try and beat this game using that stuff. Or Hoarfrost Stomp was massive. I'm going to get those 3 items and I'm going to plow through this game. Then overnight, that happens and you go, oh, fuck. So I was genuinely trying... I was trying to make this game a little bit easier for myself because I was struggling with it, and now you've kind of stopped me in my tracks.
It's a roadblock, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it from a point, and I can't exactly say I'm against balancing in games. I just find it a bit strange when you do it in a fundamentally single-player experience, especially only a few weeks after launch. Like, 6 months down the line, if you want to rebalance because you think everyone's overusing the same stuff, I get it. 3 weeks, the only reason you can really come down to, at least for me, is PvP. And
I think you make
to be fair, speedrunners.
You make a good point around the PvP. Because definitely that is a consideration, because you can do PvP in Elden Ring. Now, you obviously don't want massively overpowered stuff.
Yeah.
Though I think that this isn't a PvP issue. I genuinely don't think it is a PvP issue. I think it's more likely to be them just wanting to rebalance and them going, okay, this game is actually being exploited, and we actually want it to be a really hard experience no matter what, and so they're just trying to bring it back in. I don't know.
Well, so this is the thing. So Elden Ring is the game I'm still playing, obviously, because I just have less time to play in general. So I'm still on it, and I've just beaten the Fire Giant. And don't get me wrong, things like Hoarfrost Stomp would have made it a lot easier, I suspect, and would have been very handy to have. But I'm getting through it anyway. But the reason I highlight PvP then is actually Fire's Deadly Sin, because that one, I mean, it's ridiculous in single player anyway, but in PvP it was legitimately a bug.
But that was broken bug.
So you could use that one to inflict status effects much, much, much quicker on people. So this is the bleed effect was one of the first ones I've seen, and it deletes things and it deletes other players. But the Death Blight one was the particularly bad one, because you just had to stand near someone and they were dead in seconds.
But you could understand those types of things being because that's not a nerf. That's actually like almost a correction.
Yeah, and that's I understand that one, because I think that's a bug. I don't think they intended it to do that in the first place. Whereas, and even the Mimic tier, rebalancing him so that he didn't get stuck doing the same thing over and over again, even if that happened to be an absurdly powerful move in your favour, that's a good thing. But things like the Sword of Night and Flame is a very specific item, as is Hoarfrost Stomp, actually. You can't think that was an oversight that they were doing it the way they were doing it.
Agree. I think they should have kept it as was, because they've put it in the game. If somebody wants to use it and make their experience easier, let them.
Yeah.
And if you want to make it harder, don't.
Yeah, exactly. And those things like Sword of Night and Flame in PvP, once you know what it does, you're going to be able to come up with a strategy against it. That's not really hard.
So I don't think that type of
so that one, I don't think was PvP at all. I just think I think a lot of it is that there's so many videos, as Eddie says, saying this is the weapon to have, so everyone's going to get it. And so you go, okay, we want some variation, we'll change it. But that's for a few months from now, not week 3. I don't know.
I think the people I find it a shame for are people like Eddie, who loves his research, probably go after a few of these items. Absolutely. And then they've been nerfed. But for anybody listening who is experiencing that, the Sword of Night and Flame is still pretty damn good.
Yeah, so, and the Mimic tier is still fantastic as well.
The only thing that has been nerfed into oblivion is the Hoarfrost Stomp.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the fact that this has even occurred makes me... I will probably never do the old research again, because I won't know if it has literally been... nerfed a week later on the next patch. So the fact that I know that they nerf things makes me go, well, I might as well just not do the research bit.
I do think it's caused by the speedrunners and the no-hit runners and the meta builders that are streaming now, because like Distortion using the Hoarfrost Stomp to basically obliterate the he was using the item that that Ash War comes on naturally is now basically useless in the game, because they've increased the animation time and they've made it a third of the damage that it was doing. I suspect it is an answer to that type of stuff, and then everybody using the same type of stuff, and Bandai Namco / FromSoft saying that wasn't how we intended the game to be played. I don't know. It's weird, though. It's weird.
It's a very strange one. I mean, this is the thing, by the way, as well. Things like Mimic Tier and Sword of Night and Flame, they've suffered small nerfs. They're still very usable items. Hoarfrost Stomp is dead. That's like 100% nerf.
And that was meta.
Yeah.
And that was dead.
Yeah,
That's dead.
And it is going to... I think it was Distortion 8 who said that it's basically RIP to any speedrun being quicker.
Yes, so now the speedruns are being done on patches. So if there was Distortion's record has now been beaten and somebody's done it in under 28 minutes, but it's on patch 0.02. So there's now a distinction, because now the latest patch, it's like half an hour to an hour longer, I think, the speedrun.
Yeah. Which, I mean, does potentially tell you that there was a balance issue, but it's for the single player side of it. I don't like seeing these patches come in.
Yeah. Never mind. The game is still enjoyable, and yes, I actually like the game. With the rebalancing, I think it could be very, very good.
Yeah.
Even better.
Yeah. And I mean, the good news for me is I'm also getting back into RimWorld, so I suppose I've got that to console myself.
Yes, you have been, haven't you?
Yeah.
I've got a RimWorld story.
Oh, fantastic.
Oh, lovely.
Go for it.
Segue.
Yeah, I was installing Steam onto my new computer yesterday, and I saw an apology from the RimWorld developers, who are Ludeon Studios. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
I can't remember them, but yeah. And it was an apology and like sorry for the confusion in Australia. And I looked it up, and from a week or two ago, there's an article from PC Gamer. So in Australia, it is now illegal to buy RimWorld.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, long story short, they tried to release it on console, because obviously it's been so popular. And then the Australian Classification Board, here we are, here's the blurb, gave it a rating of refused classification, making it illegal to sell, due to the way it deals with matters of sex, drug misuse or addiction, crime, cruelty, violence, or revolting or abhorrent phenomena in such a way that they offend against the standards of morality, decency, and propriety generally accepted by reasonable adults.
You guys are not reasonable.
And I couldn't agree more. I think that's why everyone loves playing RimWorld.
To be honest, what I like, the initial reaction from Australians, Eddie, was them going like, this is because it gives you a positive mood buff for people having sex and suggests there's positives to taking drugs. They were like, the rest of it is actually just addressing the Australian government doesn't like that.
I just love the idea of someone being like sent this game, got to rate it, and they're just, all right, I'll stick it up. What the fuck?
What am I playing? You can be cannibals?
Yeah.
We just got over playing Kenshi, and now we're playing this. What the fuck?
The thing is, that reviewer is just like, I lost the copy though. I don't know what happened to it, and it's just playing it every day. That's what they're doing now.
But the problem with this as well is, since they obviously looked into this, and it's since this news article came out, they've now banned it from PC as well.
Yeah,
so
that's mental.
I feel bad because the studio obviously went, let's try and get it on console. And then it's kind of made everyone realise, and now you can't even fucking buy it. Don't get me wrong, if you already own the game, then you can still play it in Australia. They haven't taken it completely from them, but you're not allowed to buy a new copy of it.
Eddie, does this mean that RimWorld could be coming to console? Not in Australia, obviously, but in other places.
Definitely not Australia. Yeah, I mean, I can't see why not. It's not really a console game, but hey, we'll talk about that later on when we talk about
if it's on console, I'll play it.
Oh shit! Okay,
yeah,
it's a really good console game.
Yeah. I believe this was being treated as a leak of the console version.
Wow!
Because of that, yeah. So, yeah, we can assume it is coming.
What a way to hit the ground running as well, eh?
Ben, you should just play it on the Steam Deck. It'd be perfect for that.
I'm gonna have to see how the mouse kind of stuff works on the Steam Deck. I'm intrigued.
Do you not think that the studio might go after Australia? Maybe we should just stay really quiet about RimWorld.
Maybe we should never speak again.
Never mention it again.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that, to be honest, that might be the best option for them. Yeah. But well, after a fantastically positive start with our news, guys.
Oh, it was really positive today, wasn't it?
One good story amidst everything else.
Yeah.
I tell you, dog meat died as well a few months back.
Oh, yeah, you did. Thanks for that. Thanks for that. God, that's like making me watch the Futurama episode with the dog. Come on, man. That's just harsh.
Oh, that's a really sad one.
Yeah, exactly. Now you're
that
thinking
is a
of that
sad
as well.
one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Good. So we've all got a really good mood coming into the new releases. I like that.
Good.
Jeez. Right. Okay. Well, I'll pick you up a little bit. The Ascent is coming out on PlayStation, March 24th.
Yes.
The Ascent, I'm not going to do the blurb. Why the fuck not? I mean, it was literally our game of the year. It was my game of the year as well. It's a twin-stick shooter, whoever doesn't know. And whoever doesn't know this game, check it out. It's like a cyberpunk twin-stick shooter. It's fucking brilliant. We all love it. Well, I think
It's absolutely phenomenal. It's on Game Pass, isn't it? And if you haven't got an Xbox and you've got a PlayStation, you only got a PlayStation, do yourself a fucking favour and buy the Ascent.
That was very aggressive.
Ben's double dipping already, isn't he?
I'm double dipping already. I need a physical copy of this game. Like, I'm gonna check out the price because it won't be like a 60 quid. It'll be.
I bet you it
be
will.
budget, won't it? No, surely not.
If PlayStation charged fucking 60 quid for the Ascent, I'm going to be pretty upset.
Yeah, I'll be fucking fuming, but I'd have to do it.
I reckon 20.
It's actually looks like it's 25, boys.
Oh!
That is a phenomenal price.
That's a
25
double
it
dip.
is, yeah.
That's a double dip price.
That's
There
got
you go.
double dip written all over it. Is the first dip Game Pass? Can the first dip truly be Game
No,
Pass?
no. You have to pay.
No, you have to now buy it on Xbox as well to make it a legitimate double dip.
This is good. I might get that because I want it for the collection. It's such a fucking game, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
we
start.
can get it on
Good
PlayStation
start,
now.
Eddie.
So I think that's a good sign of everyone else loves it too. Next one, Expedition Zero, coming out on PC, March 24th. Expedition Zero, survival horror set in the anomaly zone in the heart of Siberia. Face the dreadful forest monster and find a way to defeat it. Reveal the secrets of the lost expedition and your mysterious enemy. It's either hunt or be hunted. God, how many games have used that exact line?
I know. I was thinking that when you said it.
Fuck's sake. It's a first-person horror game. I do like
First
that-
person.
First pass.
He's a pass.
First pass.
He's passing.
First round, going very posh today. It's got survival elements in it, which I quite like, and it's got guns in it by the looks of it. But otherwise, it just looks like another one of these. You guys seen this one?
Yeah, I thought it actually looked quite good from the little trailer. They've got gameplay in the trailer, haven't they? And that always kind of bodes well. But it's PC only, and so that's where the skeptical eyes come in
you
on
always
me.
say that, don't you, Ben? You
I
don't
do,
like
yes.
PC only games.
It's not so. But I thought it actually looked quite good. If you're into your survival horrors, first person, first person. Sorry,
First pass.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just this could be good.
Yeah.
I'd like to have given it a go, but obviously I can't. But it's what it
Perfect.
is.
Oh,
Yeah, because you might actually like this type of thing. Yeah, but it's on PC only, so
Exactly.
there we go.
If only you had a supercomputer, Kirk.
Yeah, I know, right? If only.
Instead,
you
of,
sold
instead of an
maybe-
apple.
If you sold 10%
Yeah.
of your controllers to buy one, then maybe
There is that, yeah. Could do that. Or could just, do you know what, leave it out.
buy more controllers. Yeah. Next one, Lamote, the Master Moat Chronicles, coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, Switch, Stadia, March 24th. Meet Lamote, the squishiest bioluminescent creature. Jesus Christ, Pete, did you put that word in?
Close. That was actually really
Yeah,
good.
it was.
Put that word in.
For someone
You
who
did.
doesn't know what that word is and then just read the
No,
letters, I
that's
thought
like-
you got close.
That's being really like shiny, or no, sorry, like illuminant.
Well, it's luminescent and it's bio, so
Yeah,
it's
Close
Yeah,
enough.
exactly.
Again,
Yeah.
close enough.
It's like an
exactly.
fine.
Shut your mouth hole. In this beautiful 3D puzzle platformer, take control of the world's inhabitants on a quest into the great depths to seize control from the Master Moat. Yeah, this looks like every platformer except it's really stupid looking. It's got bioluminescent colours in it, which not a fan of.
It's fucking weird, doesn't it?
Yeah, not a fan.
That's like
I don't like those colours whenever they're not in a cyberpunk environment.
See, this is the thing. Like, Ori was bioluminescent colours for me, and I thought it worked really well. This is more Tron colours trying to be
Yes.
bioluminescent.
I got
That's a
Tron
good shout.
feel from it
That's
as
great.
well, which is funny.
Yeah.
That is a good shout.
It's a very odd one because, Ori is the right way to do bioluminescence, in my opinion. That looks fantastic.
Yes, but that was way dulled down compared to this nonsense.
Yeah, but that's the kind of thing. Anything that's
Yeah.
making that much colour is dying at best. Like, there's no way. So, it's just a bit too over the top.
Well, this game is coming to Stadia, so
No
it's
one will
obviously
play
going to
it.
be a heavy hitter.
Fantastic, yeah.
All right, next one. I think this is the biggie one. Ghostwire Tokyo, coming out on PC and PlayStation. March 25th.
Damn right, it's the biggie.
Tokyo's population has vanished, and deadly supernatural forces prowl the streets. Use an arsenal of element abilities to unravel the truth behind the disappearance and save Tokyo. Yeah, this looks really, really good to me. I put wields a combination of upgradable elemental powers and ghost hunting skills to combat the supernatural threat. Use your ethereal abilities to ascend to the top of the Tokyo skyline and soar over the streets to discover new missions or even get the drop on your enemies. The reason why I included that is because that's the kind of thing that I think this makes this game look really cool. What do you guys think?
I saw someone on Twitter earlier said that they are enjoying it, but they think they're going to need therapy after it, which is quite an interesting statement to make.
Yeah,
the reviews for this. The reviews for this have been rather mixed today, but my favourite reviewer really liked it, and I cannot wait for it. Like, I've watched quite a few reviews today, mixed, and I actually quite like it when it's mixed, because it's like, oh, okay, well, where are we going to land on this? But not going in with an expectation of it being a 10 out of 10. But I really like the look of this game. I think it looks fucking wonderful.
I think this looks great as well.
Last Bethesda game as well, isn't it? On PlayStation.
Good shout, Kirk. Yeah, it is. It's the last Bethesda game before everything being on Game Pass and Xbox, isn't it? Do you know how long the exclusivity is with PlayStation?
I don't know, but I've from what I've gathered, I think we'll probably see this the tail end of next year coming to Xbox. Okay. So
yeah, I know a lot of people will obviously wait for it on Game Pass. I have pre-ordered a copy, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So
yeah, and I know. Go on.
Yeah, the Bethesda code didn't come through, bastards. Yeah. Maybe if you're listening,
maybe if only we were bigger fish.
Lovely guys, great guys.
If only we were more important. But there is a prelude.
Exactly. There
is a prelude already on Steam which you can install and play. So there might be one on PlayStation as well.
Yeah, there is one on PlayStation. I didn't know what that was because my girlfriend said that. She went, "Oh, there's a prelude," and is that part of the game or is it something different?
I think it's literally a prelude. I think it's meant to be a just before the game begins.
Oh, cool! Right, yeah. I'll definitely take a look at that then.
Worth a go, and yeah, it seems to be freely available. So, yeah,
cool.
There you go.
All right, next one: Kirby and the Forgotten Land, coming out on Switch on March 25th. A mouthful of a 3D adventure. I don't know where I went with that one. Explore a mysterious new world, either solo or with a friend. Discover new copy abilities and battle a bevy of beasts. This is obviously going to be my game of the year. Ben, is this the same one as you banged on about?
Yeah, I played the demo.
You loved it.
Was it last week?
I think it was last
week. Kirby meets The Last of Us, right?
Oh my god! Like, I don't get it. Like, this has such hype. People were all into this. Like, and as I've said, got a caveat there with fair play. If you are, fair play. But what a load of fucking shit this is. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely line up with you, Ben. I'm just shocked to hear you say it.
I know,
it looks so much like so many games.
This is kind of the game that you'd expect me and Pete to play and go like, "This is disgusting," and then Ben go like, "Oh, I love this. This is really good
games. They may look like it, but I like good. That demo was soul destroying.
Whoa, that's big.
Do we know what the review scores are of this game?
They'll be great, Eddie.
I bet they will be. I know, that's why I'm asking.
It'll be fucking wonderful. I bet it'll be. No, I'm hedging for an 83. I reckon it'll be an 83. I think they'll say it's a lovely little experience. Oh, Kirby back on form. All this fucking nonsense. Charming will definitely be in there. Yeah. Fucking right, it'll be in there. But no. Oh boy, this game was a workout. It was.
When this one knocks Elden Ring off top of the year, you'll be
absolutely. Yeah,
absolutely.
Straight away.
Fucking hell.
I'm going to go to one that I know Kirk hates as well now. That is Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. Do you remember that?
God, this is finally coming out. Jesus.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen the reveals of this one. This is coming out on PC, PlayStations, Xboxes, all on March 25th. Embark on an epic adventure full of whiskey, wonder, and high-powered weaponry. Roll your own multi-class hero, then shoot, loot, slash, and cast on a quest to stop the Dragonlord. It took everything I did to not say cast then in my posh way, but I think I had to say it cast after all that nonsense. This is, if you don't know, this is a spin-off of the Borderlands series. Apparently, the hardcore... we've ripped into this before, but we have been told that this is like a hardcore Borderlands. This is what they all want, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an extension of the DLC from Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
But getting its own game, Tiny Tina's. I think, we talked about it on that show that we did at the turn of the year.
We did indeed, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it there, Kurt, didn't we? Dave on the offshore Gamescast, he is all over Borderlands. He fucking loves it. So I didn't realise there was such enthusiasm for such a game, but there is.
I'm not excited at all.
I don't think anyone here is like.
We're not the audience.
We're not the demographic.
We're not huge Borderlands fans. Now I have played Borderlands 1, 2, but I even own the old Handsome collection. But obviously,
Obviously.
But no, not for us.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, Borderlands is extreme, but this looks extreme upon stream, so yeah, not for me.
But I did like the Baby Metal or whatever it was in the trailer. Is that what the style of music's called, Pete?
I have no idea, mate.
To
To be fair, I'm the most likely one to know, but I have no idea what that was.
He knows about music. I don't know. It's all fucking noise to me. But I did like it.
You sound like an old man there. Right, moving on, please. Lost Judgment, the Kaito files. I'm going to say
I think
right.
you've got it.
Yeah, go with that one.
This is a DLC coming out on PlayStation and Xboxes March 28th. Discovered the secrets of Yagami's right-hand man with new battle styles, characters, and investigation modes. I didn't do much research into this, but I can see there's a new protagonist, and he has his own all cool new moves, so you kind of have to learn it all again. So apparently it's a bit like a new game in itself.
Okay.
Nice. None of us are Yakuza fans, are we? No. Kirk, have you ever played Yakuza?
No, I was going to, but it's just not something that I could get into. I don't like the style of it. I think that's my problem.
Yeah, fair play.
You had to ask me a
it's a hard
question
game to get into.
The train was pulling up, didn't you, Ben?
No, I thought.
Did you hear that?
Actually say. I was going to say, Kirk, is that what your mic is sounding like, or is that a train?
That's a train.
That's
not your
train
mic. Stopping outside my flat.
Fantastic stuff.
But on the Judgment, I mean Yakuza type games, I found them very hard to get into, and it strikes me as a game that you might get into, Kirk, if you play. But they are quite long.
Yeah, this is the thing. It's time sink, and I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
I don't.
Fair play.
So
too busy on Twitter. Fair enough.
Yeah,
too busy on Twitter.
Getting us bigger.
Yeah, too busy buying controllers but not playing games.
Yeah.
I just like to look at stuff, all right?
That's weird. Next one, Crusader Kings 3 console release coming out on PlayStation and Xboxes March 29th. Before I pass on to you, Pete, obviously, I'm going to say that I don't give a dump because I can't imagine this being very nice at all on console. But what do you think?
It's honestly
not one dump.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I wouldn't play this on console either.
No.
And I wouldn't play Stellaris on console. But Stellaris came out on console and has done really well. So I feel it's probably just, again, that we're not the demographic. But
it
is a brilliant game, so more people being able to play it.
Though. Yeah. I am the demographic.
Yeah, and it is a fantastic game.
Ben, do you not find it really fidgety with the controller?
Yeah,
sorry,
absolutely.
I shouldn't say that with Kirk after his 29th controller. But
the thing that gets me is like I only play a few games on PC, and Crusader Kings would be the game that I play on. It's just the tutorial in Crusader Kings, like to get you the learning curve to get over. I would say, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pete, keep me honest, but I think it's about 4 or 5 hours of a learning curve in there, like that you've got to put in to just even break. Break the back of it.
Yes.
So I'd rather do that on a console than on a PC, is what I'm saying.
Well, I can understand it. I mean, I'd probably have said 2 hours before you're essentially self-sufficient on Crusader Kings 3. Depending on how long you pause and think about stuff, obviously, because these games are as long as you want them to be with that pause setting. But I don't know, in terms of learning curve, it's not actually as steep as you think. Like, I would say the Souls games have as big a learning curve as the
I see what you've done
Paradox
there, Pete. What you've done is you've taken a series
smart.
that I hold close to my heart, and you've likened it. You've said even actually it's easier for you to get into it, Ben. It's easy. You might as well have a go.
Yeah, It is around the same level, I would say. If it takes about the same amount of time for you to feel like you know what you're doing.
It is on Game Pass as well. That's the important thing.
It is, yeah, and a fantastic game.
I assume it would be on Game Pass on Xbox, right?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. I said that
it?
really confidently, and it was in the Xbox ID that spoilers for later in the episode. They mentioned a load, so I assume it's on Game Pass day one.
Did you just do a spoiler to our own podcast?
Yeah.
That they're listening to right now?
Yeah.
That we haven't even recorded yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Can't argue with that.
Jesus Christ.
By the way, it is coming to Game Pass March 29th.
Yeah, no.
Of course it was. It was on Game Pass day one on PC.
Spoiler, it's coming to Game Pass.
Spoiler.
My God. Anyway,
Right,
play it. It's a great game.
Spoiler alert, my next game is called In Nightmare. Right, next game. In Nightmare. Coming out on PlayStation 4.
Great spoiler. You nailed it.
March 29th. Enter a chilling dream world of whimsy and horror. Closing his heart to reality, our protagonist falls into a deep slumber and awakens in nightmarish dream world. In Nightmare is a narrative-driven horror adventure game combining sneak action with diverse puzzles. It follows a young boy in search for the last hope of love who is working out his own salvation by navigating through his fear.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. This game does not look scary at all. I have no idea why they're saying this, to be honest with you. It just looks like a running around with a kid, like a little puzzle game.
It looks like an isometric version of Little Nightmares.
It does a little bit, doesn't it? It's quite sad, actually, because I thought most of the blurb and the name were quite promising, and then you actually see it and you go, oh.
Yes.
But why is that first sentence written in capitals? It's like one of our YouTube videos where we just capitalise random
I
words.
know, I find that really odd. I don't like it.
I love it.
I really don't like that. Creative control is not something we should have surrendered. Anyway, that said, Ben, at the end of this, can you please snip a recording of Eddie reading that first line and send it to me for my ringtone? Because that was fantastic.
Done.
Absolutely loved it.
All right, next one. One for Kirk. WRC10 coming out on
Mate,
Switch.
you said that last week.
Yeah, but
in the US, Kirk. Can you let me finish the first sentence, Kirk? And then all will be explained, sir. March 29th. This is a US release, Kirk, as it came out on March 17th in the EU. All right. World Rally Championship. So, again, as I said last year, so you see that on the dock, Kirk, again. It looks stunning. Any thoughts, Kirk?
I've actually, before we go to Kirk, I've realised I spoiled this because I mentioned it was coming out in the US last week.
Yeah,
You did.
I spoiled our podcast again.
Yeah.
I also like the fact that Kirk said he wasn't interested last week, and we go back to him this week to get his thoughts again. I like that.
Yeah.
Kirk.
It's like Groundhog Day, isn't it?
It should be.
Yeah. No,
Anything to add, Kirk?
nothing extra to add from what I said last week.
Sometimes we question why you're here.
I mean, I think we literally did at this point last week by saying that if he
You actually
didn't have
did.
an interest in
Every
this,
week, if I'm being honest.
if he didn't have an interest in this, he was fundamentally pointless. Which,
Yes, that's right. If he's not interested in racing games, then what's the point?
Yeah, and I think that's a fantastic moment to wrap up the new releases.
Very harsh.
Well, it's on to what we've been playing, and we're actually going straight back to Eddie.
Are we?
Because
All right.
we
Okay.
are.
All right, go on. You do it. Are you going to do it for me?
I was just about to spoil your bit of what we've been playing, so I feel I shouldn't, and I should hand it back to you.
Well, I've been playing Escape from Tarkov still. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else apart from when I've done loads of research while playing it, and it turns out there's insane amounts of quests. Like, I noticed there were quests, and I just thought they were like tutorial nonsense, but it looks like there's loads of quests, which has kind of changed this game from a story generator to like a long game, which I guess is good. But the problem is now it's so focused on quests. I think I'm really curious about what would happen at the end of all the quests.
Yeah, is it infinite? Does it?
So it's what
do they just regenerate? Or
I thought it was no. So the quests, once the quests are done, you're done with that person. You've maxed out their reputation. You can buy all the things from them. But it's one of those that it would be interesting to see what happens when I'm done with them, because I treated this game as a kind of ongoing, endless game. But now,
I thought it was a forever game.
Well, I guess you could argue it is, but the problem is because there's such focus on these tasks and the fact that apparently it's something that you should strive to do. It makes me think, when you complete the task, will you feel like you're not doing it for a purpose anymore? It almost begs the question, would this game be better if there were no tasks in it whatsoever, so that you didn't have that precept in your head where you went, this is a game about the tasks?
So you're thinking, maybe I should be playing Elden Ring. I get you. I feel it. Nice.
No, he's thinking of RimWorld, obviously.
I have been looking at RimWorld
obviously.
since you're Australian, naughty, so watch this space. But yeah, that's it from me. Just playing, probably chucking about 40 hours into that this week. So.
And actually, to be fair, Eddie, RimWorld's a decent one to point out, because in that you do have a way to end the game, and it doesn't get in the way of it being a story generator. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe Tarkov just gives you themes to go with and run through, but it doesn't stop it being permanent.
I'll let you know once I've finished all the tasks, see how I feel about it. Yeah.
Excellent. Oh, we'll look forward to that. Cool. And then, other than me, who has only been playing Elden Ring really this week, what about you, Ben? What have you been doing?
I finally took the plunge this week, and I got the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack because the Mario Kart DLC was coming out. So I finally took the plunge, got that expansion pack. So basically, for those who don't know, the standard online package that you get with the Switch that you can get is just like NES and SNES games that they used to bring out a new one kind of each month, but now they don't. And there are only maybe 5 to 10 people in the world that really care about these NES and SNES games. So, and I'm not really one of them, so I wasn't getting any value out of that. But the new tier that they added the N64 and the Sega Mega Drive, if you remember, and also it added certain DLCs to the packet. So if you own this expansion pack, you get N64 Mega Drive, and you also get Animal Crossing, the big Animal Crossing DLC, and you get the Mario Kart DLC as it's released. Now, they just released the first 2 new DLC cups, which are 8 courses, and they're going to release 48 courses up until the end of 2023. So now just get all of them. Did you remember from the last Nintendo Direct, they showed it at the end?
They did, yeah.
And so I thought, I do love Mario Kart, so I thought I'd dive in. So I thought this was also a good time for me to make a judgment on whether the expansion pass might be worth it if somebody was thinking about it. So the actual Mario Kart courses that they're adding are old courses, and they're also courses from Mario Kart Tour. Mario Kart Tour is the mobile Mario Kart that they've released, the like newer mobile one. And it's doing really well, actually. And I think it's heavily microtransaction based, but it's doing very well. One of the things that I was worried about when I turned this on and when I kind of bought it was graphically, would the new courses just be ports of like the old versions of the courses, or would they be up to scratch and all this kind of stuff? And what I could say, that they are really good.
Oh, nice.
The new courses are excellent, and they look fantastic. Like, there's no difference in quality. And I really, really like the new courses as well. So they're brilliant. Playing this again just makes me remember how bloody brilliant Mario Kart is. It's so addictive trying to 3-star everything. Like so in a cup you have 4 races, trying to win every race, so you get a 3-star rating. It's so addictive to try and do that. So that's what I'm trying to do with the new tracks. It's excellent. But at the moment on the expansion pass, like the N64 games that you get, which I also tried a few of those. You get like Ocarina of Time, you get Majora's Mask, you get Banjo-Kazooie, Mario 64, like these kind of bigger games. And you also get F-Zero. And I tried F-Zero, so I'm all into my fucking Vroomy games, if you call F-Zero a Vroomy game.
There is no point in having me here, is there?
No, you've been very superfluous.
Then you've been very quiet lately, so that's perfect, Kirk. Just yeah.
But F-Zero, have you ever played F-Zero, Kirk?
I have, yeah, I did. I can't remember which the last one was. I think it was on they had one on the GameCube, didn't they?
They did, yeah. That was really good.
Yeah, I do remember. I did enjoy those. To be fair, they were great.
Yeah, I would love them to release. Like, I know they've released an N64 with this pass, but if they released a GameCube, that would be a game changer for me. If they released a GameCube kind of package a tier that you could get GameCube games on, and things like F-Zero. Fucking hell, that'd be insane. But I did play F-Zero on the N64 on the Switch, and yeah, I had a blast. It was great. The Mega Drive games don't really appeal to me as much. It's got Streets of Rage 2 and it's got Echo the Dolphin, but Mega Drive was never really my thing. You had a Mega Drive, didn't you?
I did, yeah. And I mean, Streets of Rage 2 and Echo the Dolphin, they're classics, and fucking trains, seriously. Honestly, it's every time I come in to talk, fuck's sake. I was a Mega Drive kid over NES and SNES. Obviously, I played a load of NES and SNES games in my time, but I saw the Mega Drive as like the cooler option back then.
Definitely was,
Sonic over Mario was obviously a great kind of thing. How much does this expansion pack thing cost?
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. So I think it's £35, even when you've bought the online already, but you get a reduction in price based on how many days it is through the year already, for like your upgrade.
Okay.
But the reduction in price is fairly poor. It doesn't equate to just like a pro rata basis of the £35.
Hang on, is that a one-off payment?
It's a one-off payment for this year.
So it's a yearly, right? Okay,
so it's an annual fee.
So the question that I've asked myself is, will I truly get value out of this £27 that I've spent, that I had to spend? The answer is no, but I really like the Mario Kart DLC, and I think to buy the Mario Kart DLC on its own is about £23 or something.
Question: Do we know if you've got the pack? So obviously you pay your annual fee. You download the tracks that are released up to the point that you have the subscription for. Do you have access to those tracks still? Do we know? If you don't renew?
Oh, I don't think you do. No, But interestingly, if you play Mario Kart Online and the track comes up, you get the track. You can play on the track.
Right.
So, but then you're just risking kind of what gets voted in and stuff. But the question you have with this, it really is person by person dependent at the moment. I would love a Nintendo Online package where you went like, okay, obviously I'm going to get that because I've got a Switch. Obviously I'm going to get the online. But actually, this expansion pass is very person by person. If you have an affinity with these particular N64 games that they've got on there, maybe it's for you. If you like Animal Crossing and you're all into Animal Crossing, then yeah, it's probably for you. If you want this Mario Kart DLC, it's probably for you, but maybe wait for a few more tracks to come in because they've only given you 8, and that's not a lot. So that there are answers of yes, this is worth it to you, but it's steep when you can get Game Pass for a reduction. If you sign up for 3 months and you do the £1 business, you can effectively get it for cheap, can you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm paying £4 a month at the moment.
There you go. You're paying you're paying £4 a month, which is just insane value. And I just really hope that by people buying this service, I really hope they start to put the GameCube on there, and that would just be so fucking good. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't. They had it on the Wii, the Wii U. They had these online shops, whatever. We just need to. The online console, we need to be able to have that. I just don't understand because there's such a wealth of games and library that they could be putting on there. And hopefully we'll see more of it as it goes forward. But Mario Kart DLC is I've really enjoyed the tracks. I thought they were great.
Okay, fantastic. But obviously the key one this week is actually Kirk.
Yeah,
because you've played a brand new game, haven't you? Which
2 weeks running now.
Spoiling our feature.
The boy.
Yeah. 2 weeks running. So I played TUNIC.
Yes, indeed.
Fantastic.
I just to put it out there, I've actually completed it as well. So
yes.
Wow,
nice. So this is an actual review. This is a full review.
Yeah.
No pressure, Kirk. Don't forget.
No pressure at all. No, fucking hell. Heart's already going. So I instantly loved the look of this when it was announced. I don't know if you recall, but I liked the look of Death's Door and I gave it a go, but I didn't click with it. This looked a bit more up my street, and I got to say it's wonderfully designed. It's very colourful and vibrant. The graphics are genuinely superb as well. There's a section where like I think it's a second kind of biome that you go to. You go into a forest and there's sun rays shining through, and even though it's got like a cartoony art style in some respect, it's still very, very well done, and the lighting in it is fantastic. I have to say, the way the camera pans around with you as well when you go on certain structures, because it's isometric, it's just really slick how it's done. And speaking of which, you need to explore everywhere in this game, because there are paths that you can't see, but you can still get access to because you see your character's silhouette through walls. And these usually lead to like chests with items in that you can get, like bombs or currency, the in-game currency, etc. Go on.
What is the actual aim of the game? What's the game like? What's the mechanics and how does it work?
I'm going to get there.
I feel like that's something you should start
Okay.
with.
Right, fine. Well, you handle...
Instead of telling us about a little chest that you can get bombs in.
Okay. Thank you. So, the mechanics of the game are solid. And basically you handle this little fox, and you basically fight in a way. When you first start the game, you start with basically a branch stick from a tree, which I thought was hilarious, and you have no power or whatever with it, but you basically work your way towards getting the sword, and then there are other weapons throughout the game. You get a shield, which obviously helps you with your defense. There's even a gun that you can get. There's a wand.
A gun?
There's a gun.
It up a notch there.
Foxes and guns.
Yeah, I know, right? And there's like a wand that you can shoot projectiles from. So basically, the combat in it feels really tight, and it really does encourage you to look at new ways of how you attack and defend certain enemies. And it really does require you to switch it up a lot on that basis. So you've got these kind of knights, which are called Rudelings, which are near the beginning of the game, and they come in all different shapes and sizes. Some of them have got shields, some don't. Some are bigger, so obviously are stronger. There's also like aerial enemies, which are, in all honesty, probably the worst kind of enemies in the game, other than the bosses, because they're just fucking hard to get on. It's like birds will swoop out of the way when you shoot a projectile at them, like every 2 or 3 times you do it. So it's a bit of a faff. And there are spiders as well near the end of the game that I found, which can poison you. But once you kill them, they split into 2. And then once you kill them, they split into 4. So I was like, okay, this is fucking manic. And they all poison you as well. So this is where the gun comes in handy, because it kind of sprays in like a cone shape from the gun. It's just perfect to fucking derail them. I don't know... One of the main things with this game, it doesn't give you a lot of direction. Like, it really doesn't. And I can't stress that enough. Like, you are not told anything. So essentially what you do is you pick up these basically pages of a manual, and the manual itself is in-game, and it's very, very much trying to point you to look at the manual. Every page that you pick up, and you can miss pages, by the way, and that won't help you if you don't find them, because there are certain things in that manual that you just wouldn't be able to figure out yourself unless you looked up a guide or something, or you may flukily kind of do it. But there are things that I wish I knew sooner rather than later. It's like you can actually run. So if you do your vault pressing the A button and hold down A, you'll then run after that. So that's
you completed the game without knowing you could run.
No. I wish I knew sooner. Basically, I've played it for up until that first boss, and I did. It's not evident what the buttons are, and I looked up how to run. Fair enough. Yeah,
fantastic.
The one thing that I really did, and this is where I was I kind of like looked at myself in the mirror and went, "You're a fucking idiot." But I didn't know how to upgrade my stats. And it's because I wasn't paying much attention to the manual, which, by the way, is beautifully laid out. It's like it's got this really cool style, like it's from like the 90s, like a NES or a SNES game. And there's even little markups in it that someone's drawn in like a biro that like to try and go, this is what you need to like focus more time on. But you need to upgrade your stats, especially before you get to the first boss, because it'll make your life a lot easier. I didn't actually upgrade my stats until after the first boss, and I was kicking myself because I was like, "Well, this is fucking hard," and I don't like it when I get to a stumble. It's like a block like that because I need to. I don't know. I've told you before. I quickly lose my patience for certain things like this, but I persevered. I got through, and I was like, "Fucking yes!" And then I read the manual, and the next shrine I got to, I realised that I could upgrade my stats, and I could have done it ages ago. So,
Kurt, do you reckon that first boss would turn a few people off? Because
yes,
I started playing this and I was like, okay, I'll give it a go because it's new and it's something good to talk about. So I wasn't massively invested in it. Got to that first boss, died a couple of times, and I was like, I'm also fighting Melania on Elden Ring. I don't need this boss in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So and I just
had you upgraded
just
your
left it
stats
off.
by that point?
No, God, I was about 10 minutes in and I didn't really know what was going on, stumbled across the place and was like, nah, you're all right.
This is the thing.
It was like it was a massive difficulty spike.
Well, you weren't supposed to get to the boss then, but the path there is open for you from the beginning because essentially...
It's kind of like Souls.
Well,
that's very Souls.
Well, this is the thing. So this is essentially like a Zelda-style Souls-like game.
It looks like Link's Awakening on Switch, but one where it's got Souls-like mechanics where you go to a bonfire or a shrine and it rejuvenates the enemies.
Exactly,
around.
and that's what happens in this. I haven't actually played a Souls-like game before, so I was like, oh, okay, so they come back, do they? And it can be a pain in the ass because you will repeatedly die in this game. You're never going to be like OP or anything. So, but it's just just to go back to this whole manual thing. I cannot stress anyone listening to this. This game is fantastic, and I have loved every bit of it. But you really do need to read the in-game manual. Don't overlook it. Is all I can say. Because one thing that really pissed me off. I think I was about 7 hours in, and I hadn't realised like you collect these cards as you go through the game in certain chests, and they are things that basically give you an edge, or like they might make your power a bit better, but maybe take down your defense a little bit or something. But these are things that really could help you in certain battles. And one of the things you pick up is a gas mask, and you need the gas mask when you get to the quarry area of the game because there's poison everywhere that will take down your health. And not only does it take down your health, like you can upgrade your health bar so you get more health, but it reduces the bar all the way down to 0. So you basically one shot dead, which is not what you need when you're in that area. And I didn't know how to fucking equip the card because it doesn't tell you how to. And then I looked it up and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's one of those things where I was just annoyed with myself for not figuring it out sooner. But
one of my questions. Oh, sorry. One of my questions about the game was the environments. Do they change a lot? Because obviously it starts in that kind of foresty type
You've
environment.
got that hub, which is the overworld, it's called. And then you next place you go to is the forest, and there's a couple of sections of the forest that you go to, and then there are dungeons which you go to. You get a lantern which can take you through pitch black dungeons, which again you have access to at a certain point. But if you don't have the lantern, you're not getting anywhere in it because you'll just die. There's a snowy area, the quarry again. That I think there's probably
snow. Great.
Yeah. I would probably say there's about 8 to maybe around 10 different biomes essentially in it. So they do switch it up a lot.
How long did the game take you to beat?
12 hours for this. We talked about the bosses. The bosses are fucking difficult, and they all vary dramatically. So the first boss is the Garden Knight, and if you get there too early, just forget it. You're not going to beat it. Once I found that using the pipe bombs was a good way to take the health down, but you got to learn its attacks, which obviously you do in like games like Elden Ring, and then you kind of figure out the best way to get around it. Now, again, going back to the manual, it literally says in one of the pages, it advises you to be level 3 in your attack and defense, and it's circled, and it says try to be this strong. So, I mean, you go in level 1, you're probably not going to do it. Although I did, but with a lot of like head banging. There's the other bosses. I don't want to ruin it for anyone that's going to play, but they do get difficult. Now, if I'm being honest, I didn't. There's a no fail mode, which means you won't die. But I refused to use it until I basically got to the fourth boss, which is boss scavenger.
I've been hearing a lot about this mode. Been hearing a lot about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the game is great to play, but you do need to have some patience and learn what you're trying to do. And I did that, and I was happily. I put it down a couple of times during the day or something when I was playing it, like on the weekend, just to make sure that I could come back to it with fresh eyes. Because when you sometimes get a little bit of fatigue and you're like, oh, okay, I just need a break for the time being, and then go back, redo it, and okay, I smashed it this time. But when I got to the boss scavenger, which is his name by the way, I was just like, nope, fuck this, I'm putting on the mode. So I put on the mode, killed him, obviously relatively easily, but I turned it back off, carried on playing the game without it on, because you can turn it off and on. As you're playing, and then I think there's 6 bosses in the game in total. Now, no spoilers for the ending, but the ending that I got is not the true ending, and it does tell you at the end of the game that you didn't do something. Would you like to go back to your last checkpoint and start again from there? Which is something I'm going to do at some point. But the game overall is honestly it's a wonderful little adventure, honestly, and it's not a steep learning curve on it at all. It just encourages you to explore and read, like take note of things, and just kind of get that feeling of like when you played Ori, Pete. Yeah. And it's muscle memory, isn't it? It's just like learning muscle memory and just learning what things are, all that kind of thing. And it really was just it's a fantastic little game. And the thing that I love the most, I was going to buy it because I did like the look of it. And then when it was announced, which spoilers for our feature, but day one Game Pass, I was like, fucking hell, lovely. And I just had a great time with it. So
Kirk, final thing then. We don't do this very often, but I think we should. What out of 10 would you give it?
I'd probably give it a 9, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think
Okay.
it genuinely is brilliant, and
Score.
it's a gottey for me at the moment.
Excellent.
wow.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard great things about this game. It's getting stellar reviews.
It is.
This is the little
is.
box game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's getting absolutely wonderful reviews. What's it on Metacritic? Around about 90 or something?
Something like that, yeah. And I mean, I know we used the word earlier in a bad sense, but charming is understated on this one. It really is.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it at the moment. It might be something that we have to do for the GOTY.
I wouldn't be
because it's on Game
surprised if it's because you've got Elden Ring going on at the moment.
Yes.
And there's that. It's a similar kind of loop, but it really is a great game.
It's 85 on Metacritic. So yeah.
There you go.
85, good game.
There you go.
Healthy.
Cool.
Well, fantastic. Thank you very much. And my God, Kurt Garton completed a game in a week.
Oh,
You must have loved it.
plug. I've done a video on it as well. It's on our channel. So
Fantastic stuff.
go check it out. Give
Nice,
it a
nice that you almost forgot that. But yeah.
I know.
Well, and with that, we're on to the feature then, guys. Should we start with Xbox?
Yeah, let's
go.
I think we should. Oh, you sounded positive there, Ben. You sounded very positive.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The event was fucking long. Why Kirk, you watched it. Take it. I take it, Pete, Eddie, you ain't got time for this shit. You can't watch this.
I watched the old highlights, if you will.
Yeah,
I
fair play.
will jump in with mine straight after you two have talked about the full thing.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
not.
fair.
I'm not going to be able to tell you about the full thing because I just watched the highlights. I wasn't
Oh.
prepared to
So
sit through 2.5 hours.
I
Sorry.
started it late. I was an hour late because of change of time in America or something. Like it was just but that gave me the opportunity to skip bits, which is just fucking nonsense. I can't believe that I don't know if Xbox are trying to just be different to the likes of Nintendo Direct or State of Play, but they're already a major player in the market. They don't need to differentiate in this stuff. No. They don't need to. When you see State of Play, you go, that's quite a good way of doing it. You see Nintendo Direct, you go, they're killing it. That's great. Should we not do any of that? No. Let's do a 2-hour presentation where we have 2 presenters, which nobody's ever heard of, who are like streaming on Twitch, and it's awkward and it's terrible, and interviews with developers about games that you don't really care about, and adverts. Oh my god.
So many
every
adverts.
20 minutes there was a 3-minute ad break. Are you kidding me? We're on the internet. Like, we're just, what the fuck are you doing? What is happening? It was an absolute nightmare. And at one point, halfway through, they started playing like a demo for one of these games. Oh, for fuck's sake, fuck off. What are you doing? Like, it's mental. Anyway.
Yeah. And this is the thing as well. So I watched a 20-minute summary, which was fantastic. Better yet, there was a 2-minute summary, which actually covered everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I am not surprised at all.
Yeah,
I said
fantastic.
I was watching this, and I was actually looking at the when you get a state of play. I looked at the state of play with the one we're going to talk about, Hogwarts Legacy, and the video for that has now been viewed about 1.5 million times. I think when I rewatched it, I think when the feed that I was watching for the Xbox event had, I think, 3,000 people watching.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
Nobody wants to watch a 2-hour presentation. I was complaining. I was doing this. I was shouting at the TV whilst doing it. And then my girlfriend's like, we're watching it, though. I was like, fuck's sake, we're the problem.
Every single person watching that was a podcaster. That was the issue.
I'm a fucking issue. Anyway, let's move on to the games.
Yeah, well,
which they didn't want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose we should obviously mention first and foremost that TUNIC was right out the gate.
That was lovely.
Yeah. Great announcement.
Exactly,
Yeah,
and we've just talked it to death. But they did announce that, and they did announce that it was Game Pass day one, which was a good start. That was a very good start, wasn't it?
Yep.
And then we saw a bit more of Shredders and a bit more of Trek to Yomi at the same time, pretty much.
Shredders also came out on Game Pass.
It did.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
And I've tried it.
I'm actually tempted to try it, What did you think of it?
It's shit. It's shit.
Shit.
Okay.
It is shit. I played it for about 20 minutes. Don't bother.
See, I'm not the target demographic, and I thought maybe Kirk might like it. Truth be told, I was recording footage for Kirk to potentially play it and do a review, and I was going to send him some footage of it. I couldn't do it. I messaged Kirk, and I was just like, if you are going to review this, I'll battle through and get you some footage, but this is fucking dog shit. I can't do it.
I mean, to be fair, falling over is kind of a key part of this. Yeah, okay.
It's just fucking wank, man.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Well, I was just going to say, Trek to Yomi continues to look fantastic, though.
It does, yeah.
It does, doesn't it?
I'm excited for this.
Fucking great.
Yeah, and this is also Game Pass day one, and I am massively, massively hyped for this.
Got a spring release date as well, which wasn't on the state of play. They didn't mention that, so that was the new bit of information.
Yeah, so it can't be far away.
Such a great. It's just another. It's another little win for Xbox and Game Pass as well, isn't it? Like, you got this lovely indie game that is getting a lot of buzz, and it's like, yeah, just come play it day one over here. It's like, okay, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, Xbox bloody delivering again.
Yeah, and then we had a couple more, by the way, one of which I completely missed here. So clearly something got lost in my summary videos, which was Clash Artifacts of Chaos. Yeah. And then we also had Flintlock Siege of Dawn, which I really like the look of, but I can't remember Clash at all.
It looks fucking weird.
Freaky, man. It gave me like a weird feeling. I was like, I can't.
I mean, the character that you play as, he looks. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it looks like his head's a bell end.
Oh
wow, that's
no.
Wow.
I didn't make that link, but it was awful.
The design was horrible. Yeah, the design is all off, and it's creepy.
My notes, I've put some trauma there.
Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. It's like that game that was celebrating loneliness. Is it that kind of obvious trauma? You know what I mean?
There's obvious trauma here. I'll tell you that.
Well, moving on from it then, Flintlock. I mean, yes. I think this looks really good. Obviously, yeah, it's all CGI that we've seen so far, but I like the setting idea immediately.
Yeah. It was all CGI, you're right, but it's made by the developer who made Ashen. They're called A44.
Yeah.
It's open world and it's an action RPG, also coming to PlayStation. So, but
it does look good.
Was probably the most impressive looking trailer, despite showing no gameplay. And I know, Eddie, you fucking hate that.
I know. I've just heard 3 grown men say about how good this looks when there is no gameplay footage whatsoever.
Yes.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
No, that's obviously a problem. I think the setting has promise. That's what I'm interested in.
Yes, it was the look of it, and even the closing out picture that they had as the and you have a killer kind of dog companion.
Are you talking about just him with his back turned, holding weapons?
Yes, the girl with the back turned. Yes. I think there's a killer dog companion, so they've got it sold on me already.
Definitely. And then we came into a few more of what have I kind of expected from an Xbox indie showcase type thing. So we had Chinatown Detective Agency, Cursed to Golf, Escape Academy, and WrestleQuest.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know about you guys. I think Cursed to Golf looks great.
Looks great.
I think
and the developer
really cool.
was great.
Yeah.
The developer, they did an interview with him, and he was wonderful.
And they called it a golf-like?
Yeah, because it's a roguelike.
Because it's a roguelike, but golf.
Golf, yeah. I thought this was really innovative. I will play this. And I did actually think, like, of all the interviews that they did in this whole thing, he was the one developer that stood out because he was, like, eccentric, borderline charismatic. Not sure where he was, but he was eccentric.
He also said, I was the only one that developed this game. Then the camera pans to somebody else who clearly was part of the development.
They tried to make it funny.
Like, no, you didn't.
I liked that. They tried to make it funny. It was good.
It didn't feel too forced.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Ben, I thought two of these games here looked right up your street, which was Cursed to Golf and Chinatown Detective Agency.
Yes, I really like the art style of Chinatown Detective Agency. It looks a lot like Katana Zero in that art style, which it's like pixelated and you can't see the person's face.
Yeah.
It's like a point and click type adventure detective game. I thought it looked quite good. I also like the look of WrestleQuest.
Oh, did you? Okay, because I thought WrestleQuest and Escape Academy pretty much were exactly what they said on the tin. Like, one's an escape room, one is a wrestling RPG.
But
I didn't
I do like
WrestleQuest. I didn't understand like what are the mechanics in it. Cause
it's a turn-based action. It's a turn-based combat wrestling RPG.
And do you like choose your actions or something? I don't...
Not really sure. Yeah, I like. Not sure. I'm all in. It's got Booker T. Booker T was there talking about it. So come on, what more do you fucking want, Eddie?
Yeah.
So I just want mechanics. That's all I want.
No, Booker T, boy.
CGI 100% all the way.
I want to see all the controls before I play the game.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that Escape Academy, that's the one that they decided to play a demo of. I watched them like play for the first minute and I was like, this is obviously all scripted. What the fuck are you doing? So I skipped it out. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Not only that, do we need an escape room type game? Really?
God.
Probably not.
No.
Like, go to a fucking escape room if that's what you want to do. Why do it in there?
Isn't an escape room, isn't that like, when I did an escape room, I kind of saw it as a video game in real life in a way. Like it's all predetermined, but you're figuring out puzzles and that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Actually bringing that into a game is like, why? We have games which have puzzles in them anyway. Like, why are you doing this?
Yeah, God. It was a strange choice.
I was trying to bring video games into my real life by doing an escape room. I don't want to bring escape rooms into
the escape room wasn't the good bit. And then we had Whalefall, by the way, which I'm going to highlight just because a Whalefall is a really weird thing to choose as the name.
Really weird.
For a turn-based JRPG. Now, Whalefall is when a whale's corpse falls all the way to the bottom of the deepest parts of the ocean and becomes its own ecosystem. So I'm not quite sure why they picked that as the name, if I'm honest. That's a particular term for a particular thing. And I don't think it's linked to this.
I thought, did whales fall out of the sky?
I think in this game they might do, but the fact they picked Whalefall, which is a recognised term, just weirded me out.
It's I've put notes of not a bad looking turn-based RPG, but there was a lot of anime. Not sure what the game's like. But it's instantly forgettable because I've forgotten about whatever this game was.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Everything but the name I can't remember, to be honest. Yeah. And then we had some day one Game Pass narrative games announced, didn't we? So Paradise Killer, Kraken Academy, Beacon Pines, and Citizen Sleeper, which I can tell one of you really likes.
Yeah, Citizen Sleeper looked fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I thought you might think so.
What was it described as? a role-playing in the ruins of interplanetary capitalism.
Excellent.
Yes. I think it's a narrative-based RPG, but set in space. Fucking brilliant. I'm all in. I'm done.
It does sound like your type of thing, doesn't it?
I like the look of that Beacon Pines as well. It got very A Night in the Woods kind of vibes.
Okay. I mean, I think Citizen Sleeper definitely does look good. I'm interested. I want to see more of it before I commit. But it does look interesting. I just think the art looks gorgeous, but I wonder how it's going to scale up. You know what I mean?
I do. I need to see more of it, but
yeah.
Instantly I was like, yeah, okay, I'm going to give this a go. Equally, because of the name, I'm also going to play Kraken Academy, obviously.
Of course.
Best name of the show, so obviously deserves a play.
That's the best name. That's okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting the judgment from it. Well, fantastic, and that was the Xbox side of things.
Literally, there weren't that many. I mean, it was a weird fucking 2 hours.
Sure. Yeah. Sure. Okay. It was a very odd 20 minutes for me, so it must have been a very weird 2.5 hours for you.
It was a fucking long 2 hours too.
Loved it.
Yeah. But fortunately, it wasn't alone as the only thing we got from the consoles this week, was it? Because we also had the PlayStation State of Play. Which that was very pumped up.
Very,
that woohoo! You
very
can tell
muted, wasn't it? Very muted.
My god! Which actually is a bit of a shame because we already talked about my reservations about a State of Play being focused on one game. I think Hogwarts Legacy kind of was understandable to have its own thing. I just wish they didn't call it a State of Play. Is that fair?
I think that is. I don't know, PlayStation do this, don't they? And I wish they had differentiating names.
Yeah.
State of Play should be for like a Nintendo Direct type thing in my mind, because it gets you psyched for that.
Exactly.
However, this was introduced as, it's not like the Gran Turismo one where I heard it was a State of Play and I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, is it Gran Turismo? Oh, but surely there's something else. No, it's just Gran Turismo. Going into this, I knew it was just Hogwarts Legacy, so I kind of mentally prepared for that, so it's okay.
And it was a healthy 10 minutes shorter. Which is a big plus.
I thought it was action-packed, this one, wasn't it?
Comparatively, compared to Gran Turismo, my God, it was a complete riot of activity.
So who's a Harry Potter fan here?
No.
Nope.
Okay, that's one no.
I mean, I'd go based on the silence of the other two. That probably means no to them as well.
Is nobody?
I have nothing against it. I've read the books. I've seen a couple of the films.
I read the first
Eddie,
book and I thought it was for children.
Eddie, at the time you were 11.
Yeah, and I thought it was for children at that point. So.
But it was for children. It was for you at that point.
Yeah, but it was too childish. Like, oh, God,
Yeah.
did you not find it cringe as fuck? I know you didn't, Ben. You absolutely loved it. But no, I think it's tragic. And then when I see grown adults now, like, oh, I love Harry Potter. Honestly, that is just...
To be fair,
what I love about Harry Potter was that it grew up with you. So I think the first book came out when we were like 10.
Yeah.
And so
I
despite
don't
Eddie
like Thomas
being,
the Tank Engine now.
Look, despite Eddie being a 50-year-old man when he was 10 and going, oh, this is for children, it actually suited our age demographic quite well. And as we grew up, so did the writing style, which I quite liked that. And from film 3 onwards, I think from Azkaban onwards, like I thought the films were very good as well. Okay. So
you're a strong fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Yeah, definitely a fan.
But I think then, well, we'll get your overall thought on it. For me, I think this game looks promising, and I'm not interested as a fan of the setting. Mostly just for the magic mechanics. I think that actually looks like it could be really fun. And I mean, I'd be interested, Eddie and Kirk in particular, if you had anything that stuck out for you on it before we go into Ben's side of things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When I saw the trailer, I was really intrigued by it all. I thought the magic looked incredible. You know what really upset me is everything about this game, like the way it looks, the open worldness of it, the traverseness of the open world, the stores, and especially the magic. If this was not a Harry Potter game, I think I'd be so fucking excited for it. I genuinely think this will be I will probably buy it day one up to £40 or £50. but it's got that big Harry Potter label and the kids running around with their silly little clothes. It just it's such a shame. But all that being said, I think I'll still get it because it looks really good.
Really?
Okay.
That's an interesting turn of events.
You really twisted on us there.
He did, yeah. He went back and forwards.
You kept us going. That was a fucking
roller coaster. Yeah.
I fucking love that.
I think this game, it looks really, really great. It's grand in scale. It's obviously very fleshed out and huge. Graphically, they've done a tremendous job. I do have major reservations on the lip syncing and the voice, the animations there. I don't think that looks good at all.
Some of that did seem a bit off, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think in today's world, I think we need to know when they started development on it, because maybe it's something to do with that. But there's obviously going to be a lot of talking. There's you interacting with the professors and other wizards and witches and stuff like that. And yeah, that just seemed a bit weird. But to your point about the magic side of things, does look cool with the way that the combat works with it. I saw the section where the character we were following used the magic to slam a goblin into the ground. Was pretty fucking cool. The broomstick riding, I think that flying around on that looks a bit static and lame in my opinion. And the other thing I really did that I noticed that could be really interesting is the room of requirement. I don't know if you saw, but in the trailer there was a plant on a table that kind of appeared, and it looked like it took 20. There was like a 25-minute timer on it, and it looked like it was counting down in real time as well. So that could be quite an interesting mechanic in the game, because if you've got to wait for certain things to be produced in real time, that's quite interesting to me. Do you know what I mean?
Tarkov has that, and
does it?
I think it's one of my most favourite features. Having little, basically real time to build stuff in your base. More importantly, real time for your insurance, which means your weapons that you lost in game will come back after like 24 hours of real time, and it's really good because out of game you're still thinking about it. You're going, fuck, I think that weapon is available in an hour. I'll tell the missus, I'll be nice to the missus for an hour, and then I'll go, I think I'm just gonna check on my game, babe. And then it makes you think about your game outside of the game.
It makes you think how you can manipulate your significant other to get some video games.
My potion's brewing. I'll do dinner. It's going to be ready in about half an hour. Oh, so's my potion. So.
Fantastic. Well, Kirk, I guess would you consider buying this?
Honestly, no is the answer to it. I don't, but I can fully appreciate. Appreciate. I didn't say that right. Appreciate what it is, and I know why it's hyped to the level that it is. And obviously, there are consumers like Ben who just are all about it, which fantastic, but not for me.
Fair play. And then I feel we should now come to Ben. Go on. Tell us your thoughts, Ben.
Firstly, this is also coming to Nintendo Switch.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Well, there's been no official announcement. However, on their site, it lists it as Nintendo Switch, and it's got listing on Amazon for Nintendo Switch.
Okay.
So it is indeed coming to Nintendo Switch, and it's coming out holiday this year, so anytime from October onwards, I imagine. And there are no microtransactions in the game, which that timer that you mentioned, it's nothing to do with that. So it is just to do with game mechanics, which is excellent. I was really. This game, we were hoping for something about in the state of play. I was anyway, the last state of play, but then we got this separate one, obviously. We've been hearing things about this being a potential development hell and that type of stuff. To actually see something about it was really good. And when it started, I was really super skeptical, because when it started showing a lot of cutscene stuff and a lot of almost story stuff, it made me think like, oh god, is this just another linear kind of just going through the motions, and what's it actually going to be? But as this state of play went on and it opened up and it showed that combat and the stylings and stuff, and it just seemed like there was a lot more to it. It even seemed like it had taken inspiration from other games like Fire Emblem or Persona for those kind of like they mentioned about relationship building mechanics and stuff like that. And it's just So actually, this game does seem like there's a hell of a lot to do, and it's got a lot to it. And Kirk, you're bang on with the voice syncing stuff. I thought that was awful.
Yeah,
there was
really
a couple were really good. A couple were really good. Because I the first couple they showed, the voice was all over the place compared to the lip syncing. But then some of the ones in the middle looked so much better with like the goblin and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I thought maybe that's something they're working on, and they got a lot of time to kind of make that bit better. But I thought it looked really good. I mean, I was kind of like during the whole state of play, I was kind of really watching it. It wasn't one that I kind of dipped in and out of or anything like that. I was really, really enjoying what we were seeing, and I think this has got a lot of potential. Don't want to get too overhyped about it because it might not be what we're hoping for, but definite good showing.
Yeah,
definite good showing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So are you a buy, Ben? So
I'm a buy for this as it stands. Like I was heavily kind of anticipating this game anyway, and this has been a big hyped game. What I would like to see is that this is a fairly long game. I'd like to know that this was a 40-hour game, that it was that it actually required quite a time commitment. But the problem you have with like a Hogwarts Harry Potter game is that it will have to appeal to a younger audience as well. And how long can you make a game for? I want to know what audience they're appealing to as their primary audience is what I'm getting at. Like, is it an 18 to 40 or is it teenagers?
Yeah.
The thing is, it's set before the Harry Potter events as well, isn't it? So
it is.
Yes.
It's set a long time before. It's in the 1880s. Yeah. And I was actually going to reference this because I'm still a no buy on this.
Oh, I'm very surprised at that, Pete. Looking at the trailer.
Well, this is it. It looks really interesting to me, but my major problem with everything Harry Potter is the fact that you can't dual wield a gun or a sword alongside the wand in everything. They never let you do that. And in the 1880s, you could have had an Enfield Mark I, and you're going to be a lot more deadly with an Enfield Mark I in one hand and a wand in the other than just the wand. And it annoys the crap out of me that you can't do that.
I mean, I don't know. I'm suspending belief or whatever anyway with the wand, so I'm also willing to accept that a gun wouldn't be as good as a wand.
It doesn't need to be as good. Even if it's 50% as good, you're still 50% ahead of the next guy.
Not if you could just stop the bullet or like...
Well, yeah, but then they're not blocking your wand, Ben. Come on, think about this. Like, unless you can dual wield wands.
Why not do two wands then?
But that's it. If you can dual wield wands, I'd take that. But one, nah, I'm not down for that.
Okay, so
dual wielding.
In the latest Halo, you can't dual wield.
I know.
In the latest Halo, you can't dual wield.
Yeah. I know. It really annoys me actually because I think was it Halo 2 where they first brought dual wield?
Yes.
Yeah, damn right. Phenomenal. Yeah, it really winds me up. Really winds me up. So
you're a crazy cat, Pete.
And on that bombshell, I guess that's time to leave it. But if anyone wanted to tell us their thoughts on Hogwarts Legacy or anything else, how would they do so?
You can email us at podcast@grumpygamers.co.uk. You can tweet us at grumpygamerspod, and you can watch all our videos on YouTube, including Kirk's Tunic review, at Grumpy Gamers Podcast is the channel.
Fantastic. But for this week, it's GG.
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 GG.